Okay, we're looking at the next video on the quadratic equations, and this one is using the quadratic formula. So this is called the general form. Okay, so a is the coefficient of x squared, b equals the coefficient of x, and c is the constant. So you have to make sure you have it in that order in case they change the order and put the x squared last or something like that. And this is the formula you have to learn off by heart or whatever. Now there's a really good YouTube clip. If you just Google dancing baby quadratic formula, if you just Google that, quadratic formula dancing baby, you'll find a very annoying video that will help you learn that formula off by heart. Okay, so we'll do the proof on the next page. Copy that down, come across. Okay, so we're going to use the completing the squared technique. So I've already started some things. So that's from the previous page. And what we do is we divide by, or factorize the a out so that it looks like a monic. And then we divide by a. So we end up with this for the time being. So now we're going to use the completing the squared technique. The first thing you do is you move the CA across the other side, so it becomes minus CA. So that's still the same as the previous line. Now, what we have to do is work out what number we need to complete the square. And what we do is we halve the number and square. So it's going to be b over 2a squared. So I'm going to add b over 2a squared. Remember, we halve the number in front of the x and square it, and then that becomes our perfect square. So on this side, we've got b squared minus c. B squared, actually I'll take that back, sorry. We've got, I'll just leave this minus c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. B squared, 2 squared is 4, a squared is a squared. Now, just on this line, the lowest common denominator is 4a squared, right? And so this number needs to be multiplied by 4, and then I'm going to put the b squared first. So it's b squared minus 4c. Yep, I think that's right. Alright, there's something missing. Just going to pause for a sec. I've realised I've got to multiply not only by 4, I've got to multiply by 4a. So that's 4ac, that didn't look right. Yep. So the lowest common denominator is 4a squared, so I've got to multiply that by 4a. Okay, so to get rid of the square, you square root and put a plus and minus. So I've got b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. And then I've got b squared minus 4ac. Now the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of a squared is a. So now the denominator is 2a. And to finish it off, you take the b over 2a across the other side. So it becomes minus b over 2a. b squared minus 4ac. So there's your quadratic formula. Okay, so that's the proof. You don't have to know it, but there is the proof. Okay, come across and we'll use it. Okay, so we've had this one before, x squared plus 5x plus 6. Doing it the old way is x plus 3x plus 2, so there's the two answers. So using with the quadratic formula, which you wouldn't do for an easy one like this, but just to prove that it works, a is 1, b is 5, c is 6. A is 1, b is 5, c is 6. So x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4a c divided by 2a. Okay, negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a minus 5 plus or minus 4 times 1 times 6 is 24. 5 squared is 25. 25 minus 24 is 1. So this plus or minus is there. The square root of 1 is 1 over 2 times 1 is 2. And so your two answers are minus 5 plus 1, which is minus 4 over 2. Second answer, minus 5 minus 1 is minus 6 over 2. Both times over 2. And there's your negative 2 and negative 3 up there. So it doesn't matter if it's in the opposite order. Okay, copy and come across. Okay, so x squared plus 5x plus 7 equals 0. Using the old way, you can't do, because we don't have two numbers that multiply to give 7 that add to give 5. So you can't do it. So you have to use this new technique. So x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So it's minus 5 plus or minus. Okay, so 25. 4 times 1 times 7 is 28. 25 minus 28 is negative 3 over 2. And there are no solutions. Why are there no solutions? Because you can't square root a negative 3. Okay? Now, if there's no solutions, there are solutions, but you don't do them until you in year 12 doing specialist maths. The solutions are complex numbers. There's complex solutions. Okay? So let's copy that down and come across. So the reason there's no answers is because you can't square the negative. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change this. I'll make that a minus 1. Just so we've got an answer. This, otherwise there'll be no answers again. Actually, no, so I'll leave this plus 1. Beg your pardon. Okay, so again, we've got no two numbers that multiply to give 1 that add to give 3. So we use the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So that's minus 3. 3 squared is 9. 4 times 1 times 1 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. So it's plus or minus the square root of 5 over 2. And so your two answers are surds. So your two answers are minus 3 plus square root of 5 over 2, or minus 3 minus square root of 5 over 2. But you can leave it like that, or you can leave it like that. It doesn't matter. The advantages in doing this is if you had to sketch the quadratic, the parabola, then these would give you the x-intercepts. But that answer up here is fine. Okay, I think that's it. We're finished. Okay, thanks. Bye.